Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to help you cut through the noise.
Hmm.
Today, June 18th, 2025, we're diving headfirst into, well, an incredibly serious situation, the Israel-Iran conflict.
It's intensifying rapidly.
Exactly. We've looked at your sources, news alerts, deeper analysis to really unpack what's happening now and honestly, what it might mean.
There's so much information flying around, it's hard to keep track.
It really is. So
Yeah.
let's start with Israel's Operation Rising Lion. It kicked off June 13th, big airstrikes.
Yeah, not just anywhere. Key targets, right?
Yeah.
Nuclear sites, missile bases.
And IRGC command centers, too. Tehran, Isfahan, Natanz. Pretty widespread.
And the immediate cost, it was high.
Terribly high. Over 400 casualties reported in Iran civilians, scientists among them, and at least 24 reported in Israel from the retaliation.
So speaking of retaliation,
Yeah.
Iran's response, was it what we expected?
Well, the speed and scale were something else. Hundreds of missiles, ballistic, hypersonic, plus drone swarms aimed at Israel.
Right, hundreds. And while Iron Dome, thankfully, caught a lot.
A lot, yeah.
The sheer number, that's a statement. It wasn't just, a proportional response. It felt like a massive barrage.
So strategically, what does that tell us? Israel's air power seems dominant here.
Incredibly effective, yes. The report suggests they damaged over 200 missile sites. And maybe, 40% of Iran's launchers?
40%. Wow.
Yeah, that's a serious hit to their capabilities. It likely explains why Iran's missile attacks started to taper off a bit.
But it wasn't just the airstrikes, was it? There's this other layer.
Exactly. Your sources are pointing towards Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, and this network of drones conducting sabotage inside Iran.
Before the main strikes even happened.
That's the indication. Preemptive sabotage, undermining defenses before Iran could even fully react.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of warfare.
That covert element, yeah, it really adds complexity. It's not just about missiles and planes anymore. And all this military action, this complexity, it naturally pulls in the big international players,
Yeah.
particularly the U.S.
Yes, the U.S. involvement. That's shifted dramatically.
It really has. President Trump's rhetoric went from maybe cautious diplomacy to demanding unconditional surrender from Iran.
That's strong language. And telling Tehran residents to evacuate.
Right. Plus, boosting U.S. military assets in the region, though no direct U.S. strikes so far.
Correct. But it begs the question, where does this leave de-escalation? Iran's supreme leader, Khamenei, flatly rejected surrender.
Said it would cause irreparable damage if the U.S. intervenes directly.
And you have the G7, other leaders calling for calm, for pulling back. But the situation feels, incredibly tense, very close to dragging the U.S. in deeper.
It does. And while these high-level talks and military moves happen, the reality on the ground, especially in Tehran,
It's
grim.
humanitarian impact, yeah.
Your sources paint a picture of absolute crisis. Air raids, power cuts, internet blackouts, people sheltering in metro stations.
Fuel shortages, too, I read, and
Yeah.
huge numbers evacuating.
Over 100,000 people have fled Tehran, and you see foreign governments, Ireland, the UK, Pakistan, trying to get their citizens out.
It's a stark reminder of the human cost, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beneath all the strategy.
Absolutely. And that fear, that disruption, it doesn't stay local, does it? It ripples out.
Immediately. Look at the global markets.
Yeah.
Oil is jittery. West Texas Intermediate is around, $73? Brent, near $76.
Reflecting anxiety about supply, I suppose.
For sure. And regionally, tensions are sky high. Russia, Turkey, allies of different sides, they're warning the U.S. not to get more involved. It's a tangled web.
And this isn't just us talking. You see it in major analyses. That Washington Post podcast, Can He Do That?, directly asking if Israel is pulling the U.S. into a bigger war.
Right. And the FT briefing framed Trump's stance as a major gamble, potentially isolating the U.S. from G7 partners for unilateral action.
So where does that leave us right now? Iran's retaliation seems to have slowed down.
It has slowed, but Israel is still hitting infrastructure targets, degrading capabilities.
A ceasefire feels distant.
Very unlikely at this moment. Both sides seem prepared for more strikes.
Which brings us to the really critical point, I think.
The looming decision for the U.S. intervene militarily, facing global pushback, or step back.
It feels like a massive decision point.
It is. And for you listening, consider this. That single choice, intervene or not, it could reshape global stability, redraw those red lines for years to come. It's a moment with huge potential consequences.